Today's an interesting day for me. This is a release day, a single release day for my band, Noah Guthrie and Good Trouble. The song's called Rockstar. We recorded it here in my home studio, my half-finished home studio. This is the first official thing we ever recorded in my home studio, and I'm really proud of it. I'm really happy with it. Not just because of the song and the production and all the work that everyone put into it, but because this song represents a shift and a new direction for this group of people, people that I've been playing with and making music with for 11 years, 12 years now. Through this process, I've learned a really important lesson that I wanted to talk about in this video. Some things have needed to change for a while, and we finally took some steps to change them, and I learned something. So a little backstory for those of you that don't know. This band has been together since about 2012. We met at Rick Beato's studio. Rick had produced a few records for a band called Need to Breathe that did really well, and Noah was a young artist at the time. He found success early on YouTube and was able to go make a record with Rick. And around the same time, Philip Conrad, bass player, and I were interning at Rick's studio. And I was a fan of Noah's. I had seen his work on YouTube and wanted to play with him. Didn't know who he was or where he lived, but when I heard that he was coming into Rick's studio to make a record, I was stoked, really excited. So long story short, I met Noah and Ian at the studio. We played on a song and became fast friends. And basically since that day, I've been in Noah's band. Now, up until the last couple of months, this hasn't actually been a band situation. We've had Noah, who is the artist. His name is on the marquee, so to speak, and then we were the backing band. Ian, Phil, and I were hired guns. And even though we developed a sound early on as a band and we worked on records like a band would work on the records, we didn't actually work like that in a business sense or on paper. And over the last year, I think we all were kind of feeling this tension that things needed to change. It wasn't really working out. And so this single and the music that we have coming out and everything else is sort of a shift and a step in a new direction where now it's a band and we're all working together like a band. And I'm incredibly excited to show you what we've been working on. There's links in the description, by the way, shameless plug. The band YouTube channel, we have live performance videos cut in the studio that'll be dropping very soon, so go subscribe to that and then go stream the single down there. But this whole thing represents a big shift in my thinking and a lesson learned for me. And that is that when I was coming up as a musician, when I was in music school and trying to figure things out, my definition of success at that time was to get hired by an artist or a band or whatever to go and play and tour the world. I wanted to play big stages and travel the world and spend the rest of my life on tour. And my mentality at that time was basically that all I needed to do was be a good musician. If I was a good musician, if I spent time practicing, if I was in the shed, if I could play fast, everything else would happen for me. The bands would come to me, the artists would come to me, they would somehow find me, and then, I would get hired. All I'd have to do is get in the band, get on the gig, and then everything would happen. The artist and their management team and the label and all this stuff would do what they needed to do so that I could sort of live my dream of being the side man on the big stage in the arena. And after a few years of chasing that, I realized that that's not reality and that's not actually what I wanted. And I started to realize this about 5 years ago when I started this YouTube channel. I finally had something that I owned. It had literally my name on it. Up until that point, I was a hired gun, so I was working on other people's music, playing on other people's records, being in other people's bands, so to speak, and that wasn't fulfilling enough for me. I wanted something that I owned. I wanted something that I built, and that is what this YouTube channel became. It is my voice, so to speak. In the band, in Good Trouble, we were all sort of feeling some version of that way. We've been playing together and working hard for 10 plus years, and we have done some cool stuff, but it hadn't really worked out, I think, like we all anticipated when we met at Rick's studio in 2012. So at the end of last year, we kind of all sat down and had a hard discussion with one another. Like, what does this look like? Where are we going? What's happening? Because if we keep doing it the way we're doing it, it's not sustainable and it's not going to continue. And the thing is, we all want this to continue. I didn't grow up with a brother or brothers, and I can tell you without getting too emotional that this band, these 4 guys, are my brothers. These are the closest thing to actual blood brothers I've ever had. I love these guys, and I want to keep making music with them as long as I can. So in order to do that, we needed to all come together and just figure it out. And so that's what's happening. Today marks sort of this new chapter in the direction for this group, which is now an actual band. Noah Guthrie and Good Trouble is its own sort of entity. And I think it's important to point that out because since I started my channel, this band has been featured a lot. I've made tons of backstage journal vlogs with Noah and the band. We've done studio stuff, and there will be a lot more stuff happening with Good Trouble on this channel. And so I wanted to communicate that things have now shifted. There's a new direction. The music is going in a new direction. And all of this stuff that I've been working on behind the scenes for the better part of 2 years, building the studio, developing my chops as a producer and a writer and engineer, has kind of all been in service of wanting to go in this new direction with this band and with my career. We just want to be a band. We want to make music that we love and hope that it finds an audience of people that also loves it as well. So that's it. If you'd like, I'd really appreciate it if you would check out the band's channel. It just launched. We have the produced single version, and there's about 4 new singles on the way. But then we've actually done live in-studio performance videos of those singles as well, because we're a band and we like to play in the room together and live tracks. So check out the band channel, go stream Rockstar. It would really mean a lot to me and to Noah and Phil and Ian if you would show some support if you dig it. And yeah, I appreciate you watching this video. It's a bit of a departure from what I normally do on the channel, but I just felt like I wanted to share that. So my name is Rhett Scholl. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.